Welcome to The Learning Post, a podcast dedicated to sharing insights from the UK Aid Match and UK Aid Direct funds. My name is Ben Anderson, and I am the Communications Specialist for the UK Aid Match and your host for this episode. In this episode, I speak to Performance and Risk Manager for UK Aid Match, Patrick Douglas, who has been looking into the performance of UK Aid Match projects during COVID-19 and the factors which determine their ability to adapt effectively. So, Patrick, why did you choose to look into this subject in the first place?
Well, being a performance and risk manager, we kind of deal with risks on a daily basis. The emergence of COVID provided a unique opportunity to see how projects and organizations adapted to a risk that they all faced at the same time in various different sectors in various different countries. So it provided us with a really good opportunity to learn.
What did you look at in this study?
Well, we have a diverse portfolio of projects, and we decided to kind of break down these projects into 4 different categories. The first category was looking at the project design, where we looked at issues like the sector in which they were working in, the approach they took, and the time in which they started the project. The second category was the project size, which was project budget, the number of beneficiaries they were looking at, and the geographical scope in which they were implementing the project. The third category was the project location. Was it a multi-country project? And the particular countries in which the project was being implemented in. And the fourth and final category was the organization itself, the size, the experience it has, and the speed at which they were able to adapt after COVID struck.
And what did you find was the most important factor when adapting to COVID-19?
We believe that the length of time the project had been implementing had a significant impact on the project's ability to adapt for a number of reasons. The first is the longer the project had been implementing for, the more integrated they would be within the community in which they are operating in. They would have more time to demonstrate the value of their activities, which then would increase the likelihood of those communities continuing with the project activities during the COVID, which would allow them to progress towards their project goals. Secondly, the longer the project had been operating for, the more time it would give the project staff to get up to speed with all the protocols and procedures and policies of that project, which would then put them in a better position to be able to adapt more effectively when COVID struck. I think these 2 reasons are why the projects that have been running for 9 months or longer before COVID struck were more likely to be able to adapt effectively.
Was there anything that surprised you or a correlation that you weren't expecting while you were doing this study?
I think the most surprising aspect of this review was that there was only one factor that had really any significant impact on whether the project was able to effectively adapt or not. Considering the diverse range of projects that we have, from projects reaching 400 beneficiaries to projects reaching 2.5 million beneficiaries, to projects working in animal rescue, to water and sanitation, none of the other factors really had any significant impact on whether a project was adaptable or not, which I was most surprised at. I think another big point would be there's so many different factors that influence it. You can't separate individual issues. So for instance, let's say we thought that multi-country projects would be less resilient. However, that bore no significant difference. But when we did a deeper dive into the multi-country projects, we found that 4 of the 5 projects had been running for 9 months or longer. So that would have influenced their ability to adapt far more than if it's multi-country or not. It was only time that bore any significant impact.
Thanks for your time, Patrick.
Cheers, Ben.
To find out more about Patrick's work analysing COVID-19 adaptability, head over to the resources page on the UK Aid Match website and search COVID-19 adaptability. If you haven't already, listen to our previous episode on education projects. Here is a little insight into what was discussed.
If the secret of French cooking is butter, 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 the secret of development projects in education is focus, focus, focus.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Learning Post so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for listening.